Hello and welcome in to the Luka Dončić 2022-23 auction watch here on the SorareData NBA YouTube channel. I am Andrew Laird. You can find me as Lairdinho on Sorare. Joined today, Keith Jamison, Gold Guy 231, Mike Zakarian on Sorare.
There you go, crush it.
Gentlemen, I was going to ease us in, but we've had a nice little back and forth going here between Bellama and Jaw Dropped. Bellama, a frequent topic on any auction watch, really. Jaw Dropped also has been pretty popular before. When I tweeted about the show, Dimes for Days and When Moon were battling back and forth up to 10 ETH, and I casually logged in and I was like, oh, there's some more bids. And then I just happened to watch these ones that are showing as 6 minutes ago, and it was just bang, 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 bang. I'm like, all right, we're gonna have a little fun here. So gents, thanks for coming. And are we excited now that this is finally here? Is it a finally here?
A finally here thing? No.
I don't know if you guys have talked about it on other shows. I am fascinated, but not in the fun way, about the timing of this, the thought process behind this. And I know I ran a little unlucky with the Mavericks just, setting the world on fire with the type of basketball that they were playing. And the rumor yesterday of Luka being shut down, which seems to not be true. But even that aside, I can't wrap my head around the timing around this. And have you guys talked about this on other shows? Do you have any thoughts on it?
We have this, the whole conversation is just they shouldn't have waited that long. I think I talked about it. Did I talk about it on Friday during
Friday, you have 20 minutes. So it was a very, very, very well done rant.
I knew I talked about it at length somewhere, but yeah, it just didn't make sense to me to wait. And the point that I made, on what do I call that show now? Off Topic. Used to be rabbit hunting. Anyway, the point I was making there is it seemed like they were trying to release auctions of at least popular players after big things happened. Maybe one could even call it a moment happened. And you were we're going to use this unique to celebrate that moment. So the problem is that the cards themselves, as Bellama gets us to 19.644 ETH,
there we go,
$37,000. My God. Looks like that was a max bid actually over Jaw Dropped, since that one was at 19.643. But anyway, about this card, which is a nice, beautiful card. It's the nice, Sorare NBA unique purple. No action shot. I think, was the Luka one where he was
he's holding the ball back.
Yeah.
Paul George too has a nice one.
The Paul George one is great. But basically the card itself doesn't indicate the moment that they are celebrating with the card. So the LeBron one came after he broke the scoring record, but there's nothing on the card that's NBA all-time scorer. And so waiting for cool things to happen is dangerous because they might not happen.
Right.
And
well, and that's
Luka,
nothing cool happened with Luka. And I guess I'm of the stance of if you're going to wait this long, start the new NBA season with the Luka Sorare auction. You want to the unique, right? That, plant your flag. This is our tentpole event. Can you believe it? The new season. Let's start with Luka. And I know there was some discourse where you're oh, so you're going to do the whole first year and not have a Luka unique. And it's well, that to me seems sharper than doing it now. Why, again, anyone buying this is thinking long enough, long-term enough on the platform that they're we know I'm not buying it just for this season. I totally get that. But I'm man, at this point, just kick this year off with it.
So there's really nothing stopping them from doing that.
Right.
Next year, they could in October say, we're starting with this year's Luka. And I think there's actually a pretty clear thing on this screen of why they are just doing it anyway. And it's this little amount right here, 37,000. That's money that they would not have if they didn't do this auction. So
and we also don't know. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Please.
I was just going to say we also don't know, because we don't have a precedent with basketball, when they're going to release the next season.
Well,
so
even with football, we don't really know when.
Right. it's always been like 4 weeks into the season.
Oh,
You
I'm
know,
sorry. I thought you meant like when uniques come. Like
No, I'm saying like if they led with this season's unique, we don't know what their drop schedule is going to be. So like they could drop a month before the season, and then they would have technically missed out on that on a unique. Which your point is, you know, we might get up to $50,000. Missing out on $50,000 seems silly.
Yeah, especially with
Right.
these huge MLB ETH prizes they got to pay out.
I just don't know. Like, listen, I'm not saying this isn't a lot of money, but I can't imagine this is make or break for Sorare.
For
you know,
sure.
like,
That's
and
right.
I get it. They're like, yeah, we'd rather have $37,000 now than 3 months from now. But I don't know. I don't know. I haven't seen any discourse around this outside of you doing this show, Andrew, that people were like, hell yeah, baby. The Luka unique is here.
Well, I think we even a month ago, it wasn't the last auction to watch, but kind of made the point like we don't have Luka or Jokic uniques
Or
this
Embiid.
is kind of or Embiid. So like the three, so it kind of feels like it was like this whole like MVP lead up, but to me that's also like a tone deaf reason, like not understanding their own market dynamics
Right.
of the utility. Like Laird, like your Friday rant, like the part I loved that you said was, I think I joked with you on a separate DM too, but I said a wise guy once told me if you have to tell a story on why something's special, it's not special. So it's like, oh, this is the Jokic unique from when he won his third MVP, and they're like, cool, does it say it? No, I have to tell you the story.
Yeah, that's a great point.
I sort of get the idea, like there's no indication as of right now that we're getting the Jokic and Embiid uniques around the time that the MVP stuff is. It just feels like because they linked the LeBron one to a scoring record that theoretically they're thinking, oh, if like everyone's talking about LeBron, let's do the unique, as if there's like a time where LeBron is like not popular, or Luka or Jokic or Embiid. You know when they're popular? During the basketball season. That's when they're popular. With
maximum utility. Like this is a utility game.
So I started thinking about the utility thing more, and I'm falling less on the side that you need to do them early so that whoever buys them has the utility. But it's the fact that when these things happen, meaning these auctions happen, there are just more eyes on Sorare. Like we're doing a show right now about a single card, and we've done them before, and people talk about it, and it's like, oh, and I know that Sorare doesn't like to use card prices as like a way to get people in. Like, look what we sold. Look at all this money we're making. But it gets everyone else talking about the product. And making us talk about this product on April 5th, when you could have done it on November 5th, December 5th, like there's just, it seems like a total missed opportunity with arguably the three of the four best players in the league.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. I think there was a way to, and I get they probably want to spread them out, right? They want to be able to do an auction at the end of the regular season, at the beginning of the playoff season. Like, I totally get that. I just think like, Paul George makes more sense. I mean, he's hurt right now, but that level, right? That like second tier all-star level, that makes sense to do that, right? Like I totally get that. But doing Luka, and to your point, Andrew, you're like, yeah, we don't like, Sorare doesn't like to say it's about money, but you know what they do like? They like when everyone else tweets about how much money it is, right? Like they just don't want to be the ones to say it.
Yes.
And
absolutely.
Listen, who knows? We're still at 37K with like how many minutes left? Like 5
just
minutes
under
left?
5.
So like, you know what's going to end up happening is that they're going to compare the price, because no one's actually going to do the work about like how the utility works. And then like someone like the First Man or somebody else is going to tweet out being like, holy shit, the LeBron went for X amount of dollars. The Giannis went for X amount of dollars. And then look what the Luka went. Is the market dead? And like, there's going to be no nuance to that conversation because that's not how Twitter works. And this is like, there is nuance to it, but also like Sorare could have avoided this. Like this is on them in a way.
Mike, you got the you nailed the point, but you missed the correct comparison. It will be, why is Harrison Barnes unique more than Luka Dončić unique?
Yes,
that's what we don't want to see here.
Right. And I'm
Thankfully,
sure this
What world is
right?
Harrison Barnes? And only in the world of Sorare NBA is Harrison Barnes worth more than Luka Dončić. Like, that's what we want to stay away from.
Yeah.
I think the real one is Anthony Davis.
It's Anthony. Well, yeah. So I was gonna say Anthony Davis. I'm like, wait, I don't think we're actually at Harrison Barnes level yet. We might have been, but I remember us seeing that one and thinking of that price. He was surrounded by company he shouldn't be.
I think he was more than. Wasn't he more than Steph?
Well, Steph's looks unbelievably silly. Like at 6 ETH, Dame at 9 ETH. Like those two just look crazy.
Yeah. I do wonder because like we see YNWA here with his 18.888. Like I don't know if that's just a hey, I want to play, and he's not going to run it. Like I expect this to run up from here, but like there is no way it's reaching Giannis.
No.
But if it was done a week
later,
what if it was done the day after? Like,
right?
Bellamont went up to 113.
Bellamont had 113 in his wallet. We just needed somebody else to push him, which we know there's some wallets out there that can.
Yeah,
I don't know. Laird, like I was thinking that for football when Quinny and Black were doing that. I think they kind of joked about like it would be cool if they understand the mechanics on the why Sorare does it, but it would also be fun to see. Like Sorare is always big as like, I want to have people like to have the wallets to do it, but sometimes you just have people in buy mode. It's just like let's just go ahead and line these up, see what happens.
That's why I talked on Friday about this absurd idea that they should auction Jokic and Embiid uniques at the exact same time, and see, like if Embiid starts to run up, and someone's like, "All right, I'm out on Embiid. Let me go over to the Jokic and see what I can." Like I think pure chaos, and I'm here for it.
I would love it. I mean, the cool thing too with that is you don't necessarily know like where the whale wallets will end. So you might just have 10 guys that go like, well, here's my year, and they just bring a ton on, and they're like, well, in case both of them go under, let me load up enough for both, and we've all been that where when you want to buy something, you just kind of like, I guess so.
This probably takes some of the fun out of it, and maybe people would hate this. I wouldn't even hate the idea of being like, all right, here's the schedule for like the first 3 months of the season, right? It's like early August, summer. Maybe they go to Summer League. There's an announcement at Summer League. They're like, this is how we're doing our uniques. The first one to start the entire year is going to be Embiid or Giannis or something like that, right? And
Luka.
there runs for Luka. It'll be the last two that they do. It runs for a week. It ends, and then the next one starts or whatever, right? So it's just like building momentum going into the season. I don't know. Maybe that takes some of the spontaneity out of it. But I just think whatever direction they go from here, it's got to be different than this. Like I think this is just dumb.
I don't think spontaneity is necessary at all when it comes to these things.
Yeah.
I think having a clear plan and schedule would be great.
So,
and if someone's hurt, then you're just like, okay, that's it.
30 seconds. I think it's important to note.
All Bellamont does is get really cheap uniques, and I just can't believe that Luka would fall in this category.
Hold on. Can we bring up the fact that Luka Magic, who is a big-time wallet on football, like self-made wallet, like legend, has no basketball cards?
Oh, wow. Oh, he just came in here. All right.
Yeah.
But here we are. And he has a wallet. I mean, he spent...
Since Mike and maybe some others who are watching, Luka Magic, if I remember correctly, started on the platform with like 25 euros.
Yeah, nothing.
And now has like
flipped his way up.
Well, as you can see, at least enough to drop 43 grand.
Wow.
Yeah, like his roster valuation right now at SorareData is 84 ETH.
84 ETH, yeah. That's a lot of money.
And like he had dropped a Salah unique in the middle of the season. I think it was like 30 or 40. So I mean, he has a wallet.
Wow.
This is a wild.
So I was just shocked to see him. Like that's a wallet I did not expect to see. But yeah. So would you be upset if it ends right now?
Of course.
Yeah. I mean, this is like half of what LeBron went for, right?
Yeah. No.
Looks like it might be it. Is that really it?
Wow.
Hold on. Let's just wait for the lag. There it is. There's the lag.
There. All right,
There's
back
the
up to
lag.
56? 50, or 55?
Well, no, but this is important that Mark is in there with Bellama, because Luka looked like he was done,
Yeah, that looks like
and
Bellama
Mark
had
went
like
over Bellama's max.
Right.
But we also know that's not actually Bellama's max.
Right.
Right.
There we go.
Yeah, that was a nice.
Yeah.
I always like the ended and then it pops back.
Yeah, that's why I didn't want to like just say it's over, because I've been
You
on so
gotta
many
wait for the
times where I
screen
thought
to
I'd won an
reload.
auction. The worst part
But
is when
still,
you think you won an
like
auction
even
and
this
you're like,
is not that much.
yeah. So what do we think? What would be an okay amount? Then you guys go, okay.
250 ETH.
No, gosh.
I think if it gets up to like 75. Right? Was it LeBron that went
Not
for
gonna
like
get there.
80? Was it LeBron that went to? Oh, sorry, 75,000. Was it LeBron that went for 80,000? Is that what it was?
69 grand.
Oh, 69. Okay. It
Okay.
should go for more than LeBron.
It's just the timing, though, too. That's the hardest part.
Yeah, see,
It
like
really
these
is
two
timing.
guys aren't worried about this season utility.
Right.
Correct. That's the big thing right here. But at the
I mean,
same
obviously they
time,
want it,
you
but,
know,
like,
if you're Mark or Bellama, you also are going, I'm not going to be able to use this card at all. This could just get dropped at the beginning of next season,
right.
too, and I can use this ETH on the football side or the baseball side or wherever to yield. And if I pay, 15 ETH more at the start of the season, whatever, if, that 35 ETH was able to generate
Right.
50, I mean, these are big wallets. So I don't know.
Oh my god! I feel like this amount is low enough where you could flip this card, even at the beginning of next season.
Oh, easily.
Like Giannis is a tough resell at whatever that was, 100,
Yeah.
whatever. Where did Giannis end up? Yeah, like one. I don't know how you get back 114 ETH, but 35, I could see it.
So
And all of the other guys
but
are gone. So like Luka Magic
Yeah.
is done. Dimes
Yeah.
for days. Jaw dropped. They've had enough.
for the record, Luka Magic getting in here totally felt like if this is cheap enough, I can make a ton of ETH when I
Yeah.
resell this.
That's what I think.
kind
Yeah,
of his
like if
move.
you can get a Luka Dončić unique at 20 ETH, I think you can sell it for more.
He might have been the one that was in here just as a flip.
Yeah.
It was like, is this actually going to slip by?
Yeah,
If so, I'll be in on it.
yeah.
I think, by the way, if this gets to 50 ETH, that will surpass my expectations.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
I know that's a long way, but we've seen crazier.
Yeah, this is basically the same price as LeBron, fiat wise.
Okay, which is fine.
Yeah. I just if it went less than LeBron, I would have lost my mind. So
Are we
glad.
are we above AD fiat wise?
Yes.
Okay, good. No,
We're fine,
no
guys.
aggregators out there. No aggregators, and we passed Harrison Barnes. Thank goodness.
I like.
By the
I
way,
wanted
every
to
time I
keep
look at-
running- Sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead, Mike.
I was gonna say I wanted to keep running up just so everything I said like 10 minutes ago is just obsolete. Like all those complaints that I had, and it's like, well, actually, it went for a ton, so don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Is this it? Laird, make sure you don't accidentally hit place bid. That could be dangerous for you. Nope, we're going. We're moving.
74.
74. So I was gonna say though, every time I look at that Luka picture, I feel like he knew Kyrie was gonna get traded to him.
It's like the day after.
The look of the man that knows the end is near.
Yeah, either that
Have
or
we actually talked about how catastrophic that trade was?
Dude, it's so
I'm sure
bad.
you have done content otherwise.
It's so bad.
Who would have known?
No, and
Who
you know
could
what?
have seen that?
You can't even blame, like, as much as I like to make fun of Kyrie as a Celtics fan, like, yes, it's not Kyrie's fault. I mean, he hasn't done anything bad. It's just that
Well,
Jason Kidd is so bad. Like, he's just so bad.
Well, also I had heard somebody talk about it, and there was like, it's a wild thing where you kill your depth and you trade away your best perimeter defender that can defend 4 positions for Kyrie Irving,
Yeah.
and you get worse. Shocking.
Yeah. Who would have known?
Who would have known?
Love that I have to manually.
As a Gator, I got to watch Dorian Finney-Smith in college, and he was a fun player to root for. So
I know. I love DFS.
Always been a big fan.
So 40 ETH is still ETH-wise, I think, under. Yeah, LeBron was 44, and AD was just under 49.
Laird, do you consider NBA more of a fiat platform? Because in my head, I do.
It's completely fiat.
Okay.
I just
Whereas
still
I still think football. I think is an ETH platform still.
Although maybe that changes now with not being able to, like, they changed the way that you can buy on secondary.
It's true.
That was it.
There it is. Transfer in progress.
40 ETH. I think that's fine.
Yeah.
It's not exciting, but I think it's fine.
Fine
love
is
to
like
hear from
literally
Mark.
the definition of like not exciting.
I would love to hear from Mark if he was actually driving it up because he thought it was underpriced, or if he genuinely was wanting the card. I think Bellama would have gone up to a crazy number.
Yeah.
And I think that Mark possibly knew that.
So this looks like Jokic is coming.
Oh, wow. That came out of nowhere. Not yet, but we know it's printed.
Oh, that's fun. Always
Can you-
love finding
can you
things like
see-
that.
Can you see if Embiid?
Let me see if Jokic, if this like shows up on his card page. Oh, it does.
Yeah.
Why did we wait so long?
So Rick, so Chani, explain this to me in Sorare football terms. Was this like unique Mbappe? This was like, Chani, this is like they auctioned Mbappe after the season was, or like with him when he had one game left, and when we were as bare of a football market as possible was the timing that they just made for Dončić.
Yep.
It just makes no sense to me. I don't know why.
But literally, I think like the best football term was, it was the end of the season.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
Embiid either.
Yeah. Okay. That'll come. They're probably. I really hope that they don't come out and say we were trying to time it up with the MVP.
Well, especially because Luka wasn't in the MVP conversation. Or are you talking about Jokic? You mean you with Jokic coming?
I think just with all of them.
Yeah. I just think
Because,
that's
I mean, you just.
so short-sighted. If you're like, man, I actually care more about getting Luka because he won an award versus because I could use him all season in the game this is. Like, no, again, that goes back to my whole collectible thing over here. Like, just be great at the game. Make the cards great for the great game you've created.
I kind of was always bugged too looking back at this. Like, when you look at the super rares and the uniques that kicked NBA off, like when NBA was brand new, they like lobbed up these really rough players, you know, when the demand was the highest.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of like, why don't you? Yeah, I can understand not leading with Jokic, not leading with Giannis, like first week, but you know, we know from football that the highest demand time almost always is the lead up to the season. And I just feel like, you know, your top players that are going to be in the market for these type of cards, they're not like concerned with uncharted territory. Like, they are market makers. So, you know, starting them out really early to me makes a lot of sense if we're trying to maximize yield, or if we're trying to maximize, you know, total return if we're so rare.
Right.
So Giannis goes for 113. Would you rather have the Giannis unique or Dame, Luka, Tatum, SGA, and Steph?
Obviously.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean,
Nice
look
work,
at
Bellamont.
Ingram. Ingram 2 ETH more than Steph. Ugh.
Yeah, I just like, we should be celebrating this. Like, we all obviously love Sorare NBA enough to like talk about it in front of other people. And we're just not.
It just feels like a miss.
Regardless of the price.
That's the reality. It just feels like a miss.
I think one of the things that I've really enjoyed about So Rare outside of the game is I felt like throughout the NBA experience, I've understood a lot of the decisions. I feel like even if I don't necessarily agree with something, I like see the thought process and I'm like, okay, I get it. This is like one of the few things that they've done where I'm just like, nope, I got nothing. I got nothing but constructive criticism. And so I think that's why it bums me out too, because with these, it's not like this is one of those things that people tune into and look at after it happens. So to fumble that one, although who knows? I don't know. Maybe this just seems maybe like 3 months from now, no one gives a shit. But in the moment, it just feels like you could have done better. Feels like you could have done better.
My God, that second line of uniques, and then
So
seeing
it's just
Steph
funny
and
how, like,
Siakam down there,
How that like Siakam is 5.
and Denny and Dylan Brooks just chilling here, top line above Siakam and Curry.
I did not realize Steph's was that low.
Oh, Steph's got stolen.
Was it because he was hurt?
Wasn't it? Yeah, March 22nd.
I think it's just the market was dead, Mike.
Oh my God, that was like
about
2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
But it's just whoever's done these auction watches, whether it's on the football side or basketball side, I hope we've done a good job of saying this, but these big auctions are all just dependent on who's going for the card. Yeah. Like, it's not like a true market valuation as much as it is two bigger wallets that are very into the game deciding, I want this card for no matter what. I'm not going to, I think AJ talked about it well on the Giannis time. Sometimes he doesn't even really want the card. He just doesn't want the other guy to get it.
Right.
And if he does, he's like, well, they're going to pay for it and they're not going to be able to have the extra funds to surround that card because they're my direct competition. Right. So I think that's always, to me, one of the most interesting things about these auctions.
It actually like applies.
Nobody wanted this Steph.
It's crazy.
Right. So to everything about like So Rare prices, and it was something that Quinny said on the last End Product podcast that, how did he put it? Because it was so well. It was like the decisions of two people are what determine the value for everyone else on the platform. So like we have a buyer and a seller, and regardless of what it is, whether it's a limited card or a unique, it's like if two people agree on a price, like one is selling to the other, then we look at that and we're like, okay, that's the value because that's the last sale. And the auctions are the same way. It's like two people are trying to pay. Whoever pays the most is like, all right, that's what that card is worth. Although theoretically no one else is paying that. Right. But yeah, that's how auctions work. It's just two guys, usually two people. Very rarely do we see three or more like really competing until the end. It kind of looked like that was going to happen here until it ended up just being Mark and Bellama. But yeah, it's just two people in their wallet. And then we all get to decide if that's enough or not.
Yeah, that's true.
So I'm going to do fun predictions from you two. If this was done directly before Giannis or directly after Giannis, what's your prediction of where it would have gone?
If it was directly after Giannis, I bet it would be in the Giannis territory. Like maybe a little bit cheaper, but I mean they're like comparable with fantasy outputs, right? So if whoever the second wallet was in that Giannis run up, I'm sure is like, okay, well now I didn't blow my load on Giannis, so let's go grab Luka. So I feel like it would have been a lot higher.
I do wonder how much knowing ahead of time, kind of going back to what you said, Mike, about if they had like a unique schedule, actually would lower prices. Because it was like, all right, I know Luka's this week, but I really want Jokic. And so like, I'm not going to spend all of my money on Luka knowing that Jokic is coming in 2 weeks, but maybe just the auction FOMO is enough that people are like, okay, never mind. I'll take Luka.
True.
I think it's just even comes down to just consistency. Like we've had these where, if you had a run where every single week you had like one of the top 10 guys, then everybody would know and get a cadence and decide when they're going to, shoot their shot. You wouldn't have to tell them necessarily. It's like, oh, it's Tatum this week. and then all of a sudden next week you're like, oh, it's Kawhi. There's
Yeah.
and like that every single week one of the stars were going to come. I think it would keep like the bigger wallets really engaged.
I think so too. I think it would change the dynamics of like strategy when it comes to gameplay too. Like
100%.
because you know you're going to get a couple more studs out there, or when a stud is coming versus just kind of it appearing.
Yeah.
Yep. But that's what happens on the football side, which is I think kind of annoying. Is you're just like, oh, there's Messi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to see if I can get all of our uniques together here.
And I never thought about it until just now when I made that. But I wonder, not being a whale unique wallet, I don't have to worry about this type of thing. I only have to worry about when Yaimar Gomez super rares drop Laird. But I wonder if they ever like some of these big wallets are just like they see the drop and they go, gosh darn it, like that was the worst timing for this to happen for me. I had something else going on.
Sure.
So like back to your scheduling, Mike, like could that help? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a really hard. It's a really hard thing to determine. It's really hard.
So
that sort's not working right.
It's still sorts.
Oh, it did on ETH. It's ETH.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. So Luka was second at 76 grand. 111 short of Giannis. Just
so just imagine the Luka auctions December 1st, a week before AD, before the Kyrie trade, when Luka's like peak powers.
Like, should he be first?
I think that I don't know why they don't just like if I was running it, I don't know how I would not have the trigger finger just to go start of the season, Luka, Embiid, Jokic, Durant, LeBron, SGA, and I would just be like, here you go, Wales, have the most of the season. Let me get all the competition out there. And now all of a sudden when I'm putting in my role players, if I'm putting in my Giddys, Jaylen Browns, Chris Paul, I'm just looking at names down there, all of a sudden now they're having to duke it out because, Mark's like, man, Bellama has Luka and Ja and Steph. How am I going to counter him? Oh, you know what he really needs is this guy this week. I'm going to block him. Like, I think that if you have all these big time players in a unique division, having knowing what each other have, I think that just adds a whole other layer of strategy. And maybe that does push up the secondary type of guys given the cap mode.
I didn't even mean like schedule wise. I mean, like, should Luka be the most expensive?
I mean, I think Luka or Giannis,
or Embiid. I think Embiid's fine to be up there too, given the way he's played.
Yeah, I think
Anthony Davis should not be wedged in there.
Yeah, although he's been
as much as I love Tyrese Halliburton, Tyrese Halliburton going for 30 ETH more than Steph Curry is never going to be okay.
Yeah, that is crazy. Like when you look at some of the lower ones, like you had already pointed out. I mean, Nurkic went for more than Chris Paul, which is hilarious. But even like as you're scrolling, like Devin Booker,
Draymond more than Steph.
Yeah, yeah, that's crazy.
Tyrese Maxey, Jaden Ivey, Laird's boy Sadiq Bey, Kenyon Martin Jr. more than Steph.
It's crazy.
Bull, my God. Oh, this it just gets more and more depressing.
Bull was on a heater, man.
There's Steph surrounded by AJ. Steph surrounded by AJ Griffin and Marcus Smart and Kyle Anderson.
Jesus. Poor Steph.
Jumpshoe was asking, will auctions for uniques be inherently different in season 2? We have supply now. There's no supply before season 1. Pretty much from like the football side, they're not that different. It's just different people who want the cards. And actually, it's not even true. Like you'll see people who own like current uniques of players bidding on the new ones just to make sure the price goes up. But you just have to remember, like with the uniques, if you're really thinking about like playing the game, literally you're entering a contest and all of the cards you have, you're the only one with them to start. And then, so next season, like only 2 people are going to be able to have like a Giannis unique in a contest. So as long as they're like a handful of people who want these cards, it's not like we see like drastic drop-offs. Like there are plenty of cards we've seen, like the second season uniques are more than the first, where third is more than both. It's just like the way they're all just kind of their own unique situations.
And it also depends on who the competition are. Like, in football, we had a brand new whale pop up in the last like 2 weeks that pushed a lot of auctions and pushed some of the unique prices up. So, if we all of a sudden have, somebody move over from Top Shot or whatever with a huge wallet decide to get in the unique game, then that's going to push everything up.
Yeah, so like this Kylian Mbappe unique went the other day. And so, So the first one went for 64 grand and then 438, but like times were different.
Right.
But even 195 last week was a lot. Like ETH wise, they're all pretty close. But so that's the difficulty. Be like, oh, well, what's going to happen next year? And it's like, well, if we're all rich, these are going to be, they'll all be a lot more. And if we're all broke, then they'll be cheap.
The first one that was bought for wait, how much was the first one that came out? 64.
But it was still 100 something ETH.
Right. Has that been flipped or anything, or is that
no, not Max? That's an OG.
Max. Okay. Max is the one who bought the Giannis.
Got you.
That's actually a very.
But the cool thing there, Mike, too, just like Laird, if you want to go back to the thing, I think it's cool on an Mbappe, like a mega card. Those are 3 like of the most known names in Sorare football.
They're like some of the biggest galleries by far. In fact,
which makes sense, right?
Yeah,
which makes sense, right? That the a top 2 to 3 football card on the platform should be in the hands of some of the top people. Yeah, look at that.
Wow. Jesus.
I love Laird. I love the fact that you're circling that value, and then the top line is a goalkeeper I've never heard of, and then like a unique Sergio Herrera.
We'll go this way.
That feels a little better.
Wow.
But again, this is the biggest like gallery on Sorare. This is the top. I think he has the second most cards and definitely has the highest valuation. So
the craziest thing about Roxy on the football side, which just always cracks me up, is sometimes I don't know what the cause is. He'll just see certain guys, top players at a certain price, Mike, and he'll just buy all of them.
Sweep the floor.
Like a few weeks ago, Joshua Kimmich.
A floor sweeper.
Yeah, like he doesn't just buy one of something. A few weeks ago, Joshua Kimmich got low, and he's just like, I think he bought like 6 or 7.
I mean, you just see this, whoever Alec Van Horenbeck is, and he just like.
Oh, we'll have no Van Hornbeck slander on this show, guys. Wow.
Crazy. Hilger's sweep, of course. Thought about that myself the other day.
Thought about the Hilgers sweep, Laird?
Yeah. But Roxy beat me to it. Oh. So we don't know when Jokic is going to come, but we know it's coming. Does Jokic go for more than Dončić?
Yes. Will be my guess.
Why?
Because he will have playoff utility.
Like that's it?
So here's a fun one. Would they Sorare put the little playoff rule that you get your bonus if you have them in your gallery before the playoffs start? Would they dare not auction Jokic off before that?
Well, that's what I was just going to say. If it isn't able to lock into the first round of the playoffs, I will lose my mind if they do it. Like, because I can see it now. I can see it now. Like they're all of a sudden it's like game 5 between the Nuggets and T-Wolves, and people are like, oh my God, is Denver going to get bounced in the first round? And then Sorare's like, the unique, here we come next week. I'll lose my mind.
I mean, that might happen with Embiid at this point. I mean, we know Jokic is coming at least, but I mean, Embiid's not released that we could see.
And it's going to be like they're going to wait till the finals, like when they announce who won the NBA MVP. It's going to be Embiid. The Sixers are going to be eliminated for like 3 weeks already. And then they're going to be like, Embiid, welcome to the platform. I'm going to throw my computer.
The best part, the part that really told Mike is when they do the montage of Embiid's season.
Yeah.
And you're like, but he's eliminated.
He's not here. He's not here anymore. You can't use him.
I'm going to predict that the Jokic auction ends this time next week. Like, I bet we have an announcement because they won't
the
like
season. What's the end date?
The play Sunday is the last regular season game, and I think
Right. So he would not qualify for his bonus.
Yeah, I think. Well, so the play-in then goes. I think the play-in is like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then the playoffs start that weekend. So it would have to. It'd have to be done soon.
But what's the bonus again? Isn't it 10% extra if you was in your gallery already?
I think that's what it is. Yeah.
So all of a sudden, if Jokic doesn't have it, and Tatum has an extra 10% over Jokic, I mean, Jokic card isn't that much more powerful.
Yeah.
I see that smirking, Laird. I see it.
Yeah, I don't think it makes as much of a difference as you think.
That's what you say when the Jokic guy comes in second place by 1 point.
Yeah. Won't be me though. I don't have a Jokic.
Won't be you.
No, I'm not gonna have this Jokic unique either. Yeah.
Nope.
I don't know. I just have to imagine that the thought now is like Embiid, like do the Embiid card as an MVP card. Not making it an MVP card, but like in conjunction with that. Which
you know what? Here's the disaster that they have this plan, and Embiid doesn't win the MVP.
Yeah. Because it's actually Jalen Brunson.
Yeah, there you go. But they truly do announce it. Don't they announce the MVP during the finals?
I thought they parade them out during
the week
finals.
before. Yeah, or it's like the right before the week. I mean, isn't a lot of the awards like the week before the finals?
Yeah, or maybe it's the conference final. Because now I'm remembering the bubble. I remember Jokic getting it during like during like a playoff thing. But anyways.
Yeah.
Anyways.
I don't know.
I'll just say this. I'm gonna be way early. I'm excited for the Wemby unique. And can they actually screw that one up?
Maybe that's how they start the season. You don't have to do any of the legends.
That would be I will forgive them for all their past sins if they start the season.
Ready? This is it. They're going to be
the first card of the platform, the first card of next season. Right. Wemby unique, and then just a week of Wembies.
It's also a week one cheat code.
There you go. Yes,
right.
Week one cheat code.
Great point.
He's French. He's French, right? They're going to be at Summer League. He's going to be at Summer League. Maybe Sorare will be at Summer League. They do some little conjunction, like they do an announcement together. Get ready for Sorare. Season's right around.
How about a Sorare jersey? Don't even put his team jersey. Just the Sorare logo.
There you go. We're to the moon.
It's all solved.
So forever, the MVP announces usually at the end of the second round, and the Sixers are
Hell yeah. That's great.
That's perfect. I'm actually going to end this now because we just started laughing and having a good time after being so down about how this auction went. I can't remember the last time we were left so melancholy after.
Sorare to the moon. We're back.
To the moon. Wemby's taking us all to the moon. Thank you to everybody for joining us. If you could please hit the like button on the video, always appreciated, and subscribe to the channel because, it's always fun. I'm not going to say we'll definitely be back next week for a Jokic unique watch, but it seems like it should be there. So stay tuned for that. Mike, Keith, thank you very much for joining me today, and we'll see you guys around.